Hello everyone, welcome to HW News. Right now we are going live because there is a breaking news coming in from Rajasthan where Sachin Pilot has been removed as a Deputy Chief Minister from Ashok Gehlot's cabinet, as well as he has been removed as a PCC chief. Now let me remind you that there was a standoff between the two leaders, Chief Minister of Rajasthan Ashok Gehlot and Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan Sachin Pilot, and the standoff went on for almost 5 days, and after 5 days the results are very clear. The Congress is not tolerating any kind of rebellion from any party leader, and it has formally now decided to remove Sachin Pilot as Deputy Chief Minister and as well as a PCC chief. Now Govind Dotsara is the new PCC chief for the Congress party in Rajasthan, as well as along with Govind Dotsara, two other new appointments have been made on the post of President of the Rajasthan Youth Congress as well as Rajasthan Seva Dal. Now these are the three major changes that have been made in Rajasthan, as well as Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has reached now Raj Bhavan, and he has reached there with the letter of support from as many as 104 MLAs. Now let me remind you, 200 seats are there in Rajasthan Assembly, and for to stake claim to form the government, you need to have a majority of 101. As of now, Ashok Gehlot has reached Raj Bhavan with the support letter of 104 MLAs. He has 104 MLAs with him. However, Sachin Pilot has been claiming for over 5 days that he has support of as many as 30 MLAs. He still claims that the government is in minority, but as the events turn out, we can see that as many as 104 MLAs are standing right now with Ashok Gehlot. Now what happens, what changes, that we have to see, what happens further, that we have to see, but we will quickly go to our managing editor Mr. Sujit Nair, who is joining us. Sir, Sachin Pilot has been removed as Deputy Chief Minister. He has also been removed as PCC Chief. So whose loss is here? Is it Congress's loss? Because a lot of people are saying that young leaders are not staying with the Congress. First Scindia, now Sachin Pilot, and on the other hand we have Sachin Pilot, who has lost the opportunity. He could have been Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan for almost 5 years, but he has now been removed. He was a PCC chief, he has also been removed. So whose loss exactly it is? Is it Sachin Pilot's loss or is it Congress's loss?
Okay, Aarti, let's start from the beginning. See, I tell you, I think Sachin Pilot, there was a miscalculation. Sachin Pilot thought that BJP will support him. Unfortunately, BJP didn't support him. The moment BJP refused to support him, give him the CM-ship of Rajasthan, he lost, because then there was nothing to bargain for. So the fact that he was talking about 30 MLAs, then there were other talks that not 30, 17 MLAs, only 17 MLAs are with him, so on and so forth. All that happened. Yesterday, there were some rumors, there were some, through sources, we were told that, you see, there is a settlement that has been reached where Sachin Pilot stays as Deputy CM. Of Congress, and the fact remains that Congress has agreed to kind of ensure that that 124A case that was against him, sedition, that was the sedition case has been taken out, and then he will get more participation in the government, so on and so forth. That was the news that came about, and we were all more or less told that things have been settled, but things didn't settle. Now this is where it is. Okay, so I think personally Sachin Pilot lost out today purely because BJP backed out. BJP said we will not give you CM-ship. That's my take on this. Now let us understand this story from two angles. Let us first understand from Sachin Pilot's angle. You see, Sachin Pilot, he put tremendous effort for the 2018 election. Tremendous effort he put for the 2018 election. He really went out and got this victory for Congress. There is no question about it. But that doesn't mean that Gehlot didn't do anything. Okay, but yeah, Sachin Pilot was there. His poster, he was the poster boy of the campaign. He went and he worked really hard on for this. Did he get what he deserved? I don't know. But that is the way he looks at it. Now let us look at it from Congress perspective. You see, Congress has a problem. The MLAs were still supporting Gehlot. Let's assume that Sachin Pilot's 30 people were walking out with Sachin Pilot. which still means that 77 people, 77 MLAs were with Gaylord. So let us face facts. What can Congress do? Go against those 77 MLAs and say, "Oh, Baba, these 30 MLAs are going." So ensure that you do what they say, tell you to do. Make Sachin Pilot as CM. So Congress couldn't do that. So you see, that is not being spoken about. It is all about, Congress are not allowing young leaders and all, which is fine. But the fact remains that there was a problem. 77 MLAs out of the 107 MLAs that Congress has was with 105. I'm sorry, 105 MLAs. Huh? 105 MLAs have. Well,
Sachin Pilot claimed that he has 30 MLAs, which I guess clearly after this development, it is very much clear that he does not have support of 30 MLAs.
ठीक है ना, आई एम सेइंग चलो give him the benefit of doubt. Let's assume 30 MLAs, but the fact remains that still 177 MLAs are with Gaylord. Na? So what does a party do? End of the day, the parliament, the chief minister is elected by the MLAs. When 70 MLAs are electing Gaylord, what will Congress do? So that is from the Congress perspective. Now, see, entirely saying that Sachin Pilot was, it was, Congress was not, didn't do justice to Sachin Pilot and all, I think is not fair. You see, Sachin Pilot first got elected in 2004 from Dausa. He won from Dausa. He was elected as member of parliament, MP. Okay, he was elected in the Lok Sabha. 2009, he was elected from Ajmer. 2014, he lost from Ajmer. Okay, he lost from Ajmer. But 2018, he came back, fought the Legislative Assembly of Rajasthan and won from Tonk. Okay, this is his electoral career. Now let us look at his ministerial career. 2009, when he would have been what? So some 30 odds. At the age of 30 odds, he was made a Minister of Communication and Information Technology. 2009, just 4 years after 5 years after he got his first, he came into the parliament. So 5 years he was an MP. Immediately after 5 years, he was made into a Minister of State. Okay, how many congressmen got that kind of career boost? How many congressmen were made Minister of even State? How many ministers were made? In 2012, 2014, he was still the Minister of State, but he was holding independent charges of corporate affairs. Now, independent charges, even though you are a Minister of State, when you hold independent charges, which means that you have a power of a union minister. He was holding the independent charges. Okay. 2014, he was made the president of Rajasthan Congress. Mind you, 2014, he himself lost the election, but yet he was made the president. You tell me how many 40-year-olds or 2014 he would have been what? Today is 47, so 2014 43. How many 40, 42-year-old were made presidents of a state? He was made the president of Rajasthan, and 2018 he was made the deputy CM. So to say that, listen, Congress gave nothing to him, is not fair. Okay, he got much more than a lot of people in Congress got. He got much more than a lot of other people who deserve equal or much better than what he got it. So that complaint, I think, is completely unfair. From his perspective, yes, he did work a lot. He put his entire effort into getting Congress back in Rajasthan. He succeeded in doing that. But then I do not again accept that he did it without Gehlot's help. Gehlot was there. Gehlot has clout. Gehlot was minister twice, chief minister twice in Congress twice, right? If I'm not wrong. He was chief minister twice, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. I mean, come on. He had his own clout. So the fact remains that I don't think this was completely injustice and all that. I think Sachin Pilot was swayed. Sachin Pilot was offered something. Sachin Pilot was lured into something. He got lured. He went there. He was asked. He didn't get what he want. He is now in the middle. He neither can go to Congress nor can he go to BJP. This is what he can go to BJP, of course, at BJP's terms. But he's not in a good place at the moment. Is what I would say.
Now, as per some of the reports that a lot of Congress leaders tried to approach Sachin Pilot and all the MLAs that were with him. The top leadership of the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, apparently Priyanka Gandhi called him up almost 4 times. P. Chidambaram called him up, KC Venugopal called him, and yesterday, for the entire day, the top Congress leadership, the Congress leadership from Delhi were trying to persuade him to come back, trying to make amends with Gehlot. They were trying to tell him that come back, we are here for you. But then Sachin Pilot did not listen. He remained defiant. Yesterday, he did not attend the CLP meeting despite the whip. Even today, they had a second party meeting to give him a second chance, but he also refused that olive branch. He refused to accept that olive branch that was extended by the Congress leadership. Do you think that he overstretched it?
See, Aarti, I'll tell you, and this is something that one is assuming. So these are no facts. I mean, this is my assumption. Okay, so let's take it with that, with a pinch of salt on this one. You see, till yesterday or till day before yesterday, when there was a probability of him joining the BJP, things were very different. Yesterday, when BJP said we are not taking him, or he said I am not joining BJP, everybody knew that BJP was not taking him for the simple reason that BJP didn't offer him what he wanted. So it was very clear. His bargaining power came down by half. Not even by half, his bargaining power came down very low. He didn't have a good bargaining power. Now, the fact remains that he still didn't budge with Congress. He still maintained what he wanted. He didn't change his demands with Congress. That was second. The fact is, if you again let's look at both perspectives. Let's look at Sachin Pilot's perspective. Sachin Pilot's perspective was, see, whatever 17 MLAs, 16 MLAs, 15 MLAs, or 30 MLAs, whatever MLAs he had, if he had to stand his ground and had to have that MLAs with him or get that kind of image that he has in Rajasthan back, he would have to go home with something. He couldn't go home with empty hands saying that अच्छा मेरे को प्रॉमिस किया है कि मेरा 124 निकाल देंगे, मुझे प्रॉमिस किया है कि कैबिनेट रीशफल होगा, मुझे प्रॉमिस किया है कि मेरे को अभी और मेरे लोगों को ये मिलेगा, impetus मिलेगा, मेरी बात सुनेंगे. ये सब just by words in his hand he cannot go back to Rajasthan. He needed something concrete. Now Congress was not willing to give him that concrete thing. Congress was not willing to tell him that, okay, yeah, we will next 3 years we will make you, or next 2 years we will make you the CM. Congress was not willing to tell him that. So it was a complete dilemma, I guess, what he had. Yesterday, like I told you again and again, yesterday from very, very, very reliable sources, I was told that, they've offered him XYZ and more or less he has agreed to. But the fact remains that somewhere something has gone wrong. And from a Congress perspective now, coming back to a Congress perspective, why should Congress give him now? Except for the fact that he's a fantastic leader, he's a very, very efficient leader, he is a very good campaigner, he has put his entire might behind Congress campaign in Rajasthan. What else is there that what can Congress give him? So, and he cannot do, now Congress has realized this morning that he cannot do much of damage. Maximum क्या होगा, वो खुद जाएगा. That is what ought going to happen. See, Congress never sacked him, mind you. Congress never sacked him. Congress never sacked those 17 or 20 or 30 MLAs that he's talking about. Congress is saying, you sit here. Congress just sacked him from his position. Congress has not sacked him because now he cannot cross vote, because if he cross vote, it will be
anti-defection will apply to him, and
anti-defection, absolutely, it will be anti-defection. So so he'll be disqualified. So what is the point? So Congress has played talk. It's the wicket is in Congress's hand. The ball is in Congress's court. They can do what they want. They did what they want. The fact that the party wanted him back, the fact that the party respected him, that they showed that all Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, this Gandhi, everybody called up and called him up, but he refused. Now that's his call.
Correct. The Sachin Pilot team says that nobody from the Gandhi family apparently called him up, and when Scindia actually went and joined BJP, this was the same thing that he also said. He said that he tried to contact the Gandhis. He also tried to get an appointment from the Gandhis, but for almost 1 year he did not get any appointment from Rahul Gandhi, either from Rahul Gandhi or from Sonia Gandhi, etc. So he had to take the decision and he had to jump the ship. Now this also is what the Sachin Pilot's camp is claiming, that they have not had any conversation from the Gandhis, and he was also apparently trying to contact them. But yesterday, there was an interesting development, because Randeep Surjewala in a public appeal said that come back to us, call up interim president of the party Sonia Gandhi and attend the CLP meeting, we will sort it out within the party. But he did not agree to that. So this, complaint of them that the Gandhis did not call him up, where do you see this?
I see this very surprising. Okay, and I'll tell you why. At one end, when you talk to these Congress leaders, they say everything is Gandhi's, no leadership, only Gandhi's. And when they have some grievance, like kids, they want to go and run to Gandhi's. Sonia Gandhi didn't speak to me, Rahul Gandhi didn't speak to me, Priyanka Gandhi didn't speak to me. Why should a Western Uttar Pradesh head speak to the Rajasthan Pradesh Congress Committee head? I kind of don't understand. What is an MP Wayanad got to do with the Rajasthan Pradesh Congress Committee head? Now, if you want to play fair, then play fair always. Whenever it comes to power, whenever it comes to mileage, whenever it comes to image, they say, oh, no. We have lots of Congress people coming and telling, everything is one family, it has to see beyond Gandhi. I'm agreeing to that. I'm not disputing that. I'm agreeing to that. But then look at these leaders. They have a problem. Gandhi didn't speak to me. Sonia Gandhi didn't speak to me. See, listen, Aarti. Aarti, this is politics. Okay. The first thing that I agree to a lot of senior leaders, I think, yes, Sachin Pilot stretched it too much. Yeah, you have 15 people, you have 18 people, okay, or you have 30 people, still you can't make the government. You don't have a, another option. Somebody wrote this morning, a beautiful tweet somebody wrote this morning, you should never resign the job till such time that you get an appointment letter of the new one. Okay, you should never resign the job. He resigned the job. Then it was ego. He didn't want to go to the. He thought that everybody. See, look at these leaders. Everybody other than the Gandhis are nobodies. They do not exist for these people. So AICCI do not exist for these people. Every other leader in Congress do not exist for these people. Gandhi has to call up, and then they also go back to their respective states and say, "अरे यार ये तो गांधी ही चलाता है सब." अरे मंगता क्या है भाई आपको? You want a Gandhi to run you, or you don't want a Gandhi to run you? You have to take a call. He didn't. I think it was juvenile, and that was the wrong decision he took.
Correct. Now, a lot of leaders are also drawing parallels between him and Scindia. Now, there are lots of differences, and we can also point it out that Pilot was very different case from Scindia.
Can I interject? Can I interject here? Aarti, do not draw a similar between Sachin Pilot and Scindia. Sachin Pilot is a far better leader, a far more popular person in Rajasthan than what Scindia is. Okay, Scindia is nothing but a dynast. Okay, he's got a lot of money, he's got a lot of wealth. He was a Raja, Maharaja and all that jazz happening. So to that extent, he's got people around him. But do not compare Sachin Pilot with Scindia. I would say Sachin Pilot is a loss for Congress. I would definitely say Sachin Pilot is a loss for Congress. Not because of CM or not CM or Rajasthan or not Rajasthan. Sachin Pilot is a good leader. Sachin Pilot is a leader on ground, like his father was. Fabulous leader. They were people who knows how to go on ground and talk to people. I don't give that this thing to same pedestal to Mr. Jyotiraj Scindia. I don't give him that pedestal. So let's not even compare Scindia to a Pilot. I think that's a wrong comparison. My view, personal view.
If you look at the entire scenarios which started from which started since Friday, you see this adventure of Sachin Pilot has kind of turned into a misadventure, because he neither had numbers, he neither had the support that he claimed. He said that there were 30 MLAs that were supporting him, but if you look at the numbers that Ashok Gehlot has presented on paper, yesterday there was a huge power show, there was a huge show of strength where outside the Chief Minister's residence there were hundreds of MLAs that were present there. He made it clear that all these MLAs are standing with me, whereas Deputy Chief Minister, then Deputy Chief Minister, was sitting in a hotel in Haryana and was claiming that I have 30 MLAs with him. Now Congress has 107 MLAs in Rajasthan Assembly, and it also has support of 2 RLD MLAs, one RLD MLA, I am sorry. It also has support of 2 BTP MLAs, which apparently yesterday they said that if there is a floor test, then we will abstain from any kind of a floor test. There are 2 CPIM MLAs that are also supporting the Congress government, and 13 independent MLAs which were apparently denied ticket during the Rajasthan Assembly election, and they contested the election as an independent candidate, and all of them were Gehlot supporters. They also support the Gehlot government. So 125 is the total strength of the Congress party, and it was very much visible in the Rajya Sabha election as well. 123 MLAs had voted for the 2 Congress candidates in Rajya Sabha Assembly election. 2 were absent because of the health reasons. So all of these numbers. On the other hand, if we see BJP has 72 MLAs in Rajasthan Assembly, and two of them, two from Hanuman Beniwal's party are supporting the BJP. The number difference is too much. So what exactly was going on in Sachin Pilot's mind that he took this step? It is very hard to understand what kind of thinking that went behind into taking this step.
Aarti, in politics now, there is a lot of slip between the cup and the lip. There's a lot of slip. Let me draw you back to a few months back when Ajit Pawar went to BJP saying that he's got 40 MLAs or 36 MLAs with him. Okay, I don't think he was lying. I think he had 36 MLAs. What happened between the previous night and the next day morning is a different issue altogether. That nobody is talking about. Okay, but when a leader of that caliber, that stature goes and says, I have 36 MLAs or 30 MLAs with me, he has something. He doesn't go talk on just he can't go and lie, for crying out loud.
Correct.
Correct. What happens between the time, the cup and the lip is the story. When our gentleman, Mr. Sachin Pilot, went out to say that he has got 30 MLAs, I am more or less sure he had 30 MLAs. Now, what happened in the middle is the story. I believe the moment BJP or these 30 MLAs or whoever MLAs realized that BJP is not backing him the way they thought he will back him, they backed out. So they went back. Bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So they backed out. They went back to Congress and they're sitting there. Okay, at least that is what it is. That is what it is currently. Still, till everything is clear, Aarti, nothing can be said about this. Let us also say that. But on the face of it, as on current situation, it looks like that. Okay, so that's what it happened. So from 30, it became to 15, to become to 12, to maybe, I don't know how many MLAs he has today. But the fact remains that this is what has happened. So it is not that Sachin Pilot lied. It is not that Sachin Pilot didn't have a strategy in place. It is not that Sachin Pilot, just went blind and played blind and then, all of a sudden all of this happened. I don't think all of that happened. What I think is Sachin Pilot thought of a strategy. I think Sachin Pilot drew out that strategy. I think Sachin Pilot worked out that strategy. But by the time it came to set this thing up, everything collapsed. And that is where he stands currently.
Pilot tried to pull Jyotiraditya Scindia, but Ashok Gehlot was not Kamal Nath, so he was kind of very prepared. He had his clout in place and he pulled the MLAs to his side.
I guess that's the way we can see it at the moment. At least that's the guesstimation we can do. Yes.
But BJP has played very smartly in this entire scenario. It has apparently said that they are not even demanding the floor test at this moment.
We should now brand this as the Maharashtra syndrome. Okay, after the Maharashtra episode, what happened? I think BJP is not careful, but it is 10 times, 100 times more careful just announcing governments. Okay, I think Maharashtra was a big jolt for BJP. So after what, the Maharashtra incident, right?
Yes, correct.
Sharad Pawar incident. So after that, I think BJP is much more careful. Here also BJP must have realized that what if he joins, great, but what is it? Are we really going to be able to make a government? Will we be able to make a government? And the answer was no. So if they are not able to make the government, so what are you offering?
Correct. True. So that's what the scenario looks like on the BJP's hand. BJP has adopted this approach of wait and watch. On the other hand, we have the Congress party at loss. Congress party has removed Sachin Pilot from the post of Deputy Chief Minister as well as from the post of PCC Chief. And Sachin Pilot obviously hasn't yet spoken about this at all. He hasn't even spoken to the media. A lot of leaders are trying to, a lot of people are trying to connect to him. Apparently, he has tweeted something. Let's see what exactly he has said in his tweet. Now, let me communicado. He just sent one communication. He just commented on this entire development and he said that it is very tough to work with Ashok Gehlot. He said, now the new tweet that he has done, he has said, Satya ko pareshan kiya ja sakta hai, parajit nahi. So he is still saying that he is on the right side. What do you think, Sujit sir?
आरती, ये सब ना, these are all dialogues. सत्य को पराजित किया and all that. What Satya? For him, he is Satya. For Gehlot, he is Satya. Now, all that, let's not even take it seriously. These are all gimmicks. See, the point is, till the last ball is bowled, I will still say, let us wait and watch Rajasthan see. Till the last ball is bowled. Okay, one doesn't know what happens. Okay, that's the first thing I'll say. The second thing I'll say is, if I were to, if I were to, if what Congress should do is Congress should go out of their way and get this man back in in all ways. He should get this man back, because this guy, he's a good man. He's a good worker. He's a fantastic leader. He can do good for Congress. He's a good administrator too, is what I understand. So he is a loss to Congress. I think what Congress should do is go out of their way, ensure that he is brought back into the fold. And what he should do is he should realize that there is what till now whatever happened is all wrong. So he also should realize that his bargaining power has come down. There should be a window he should open. So that's the way I would see it. Satya and all that. So that's good. I mean,
There are
that
a
can
lot
be a
of
good
conspiracy
film dialogue.
theories doing round now. A lot of people also thought about this, that with Jyotiraditya Scindia and Sachin Pilot out of the way, out of the now the contention. Now Rahul Gandhi has a very clear field in Congress party, so he can do whatever he wants in the party. I mean, this is just a conspiracy theory, but
No,
still.
pray. Tell me, when could Rahul Gandhi not do what he wanted to do in the party? That he would. No. I don't think all that is right. I think that's absolutely rubbish. There is nothing of that sort. Rahul Gandhi, he was always a Rahul Gandhi. He is always the boss of the party. He could always do what he wanted to do in the party. And secondly, I mean, one has to give the credit to that man. Rahul Gandhi is not very, he's not very power hungry and all that. That he's not. He's been put in the place where he is, and he's delivering. He's trying to deliver it. That's about it. He's not a very. Had he been, it would have been, Congress would have been a different party altogether. Aarti. If Rahul Gandhi would have thought the way you just said, Congress would have been a different party altogether. Maybe things would have been far different in Congress. But the man doesn't think that way. Whatever little we know about him. So the fact remains that that I don't think there's any credence to that theory at all, to my mind at least.
With Scindia gone, with Pilot gone, now there are talks about this young and old divide in the Congress party. For years now, this has been debated upon, that young leaders in the Congress party are not getting the kind of opportunities that they should get, whereas on the other hand, the old leaders are still getting the opportunities. In case of Madhya Pradesh, in case of Rajasthan, it happened. The old leaders are not letting the young leaders to come forward and take the responsibility or take the opportunity, etc. Does this, do you think that this is also in line with that?
See, like I said before, I repeat, I think Congress should go out of their way to get this man back. This man on your screen is a fantastic leader. He's a good administrator. They should try all their possible powers to get him back. Number one. Number two. See, Arati, the point is this. In Gehlot's case, Gehlot had more MLAs than Sachin Pilot. Had you made Sachin Pilot the CM and shunted out Gehlot, Gehlot would have done it. Now, the fact remains that had Gehlot done this, possibly 70 MLAs would have walked out with him. Which means that 100%, they would have fought the anti-defection. Secondly, 100% BJP would have made the government.
Correct.
Okay, now tell me, if you are the party president, what will you do? I mean, you are blaming the party for it. You are blaming Sonia Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi or whichever Gandhi for it. But what would he do? The man has numbers, yeah. Gehlot has the numbers. And he has put tremendous effort, no doubt. But Gehlot has the numbers. So that's the same thing with Kamal Nath. See, Jyotiradittya Scindia has no clout except for the Guna, where he stood for some parts of Chambal and maybe Gwalior, I don't know. Some 2-3 places he's got some clout. That man couldn't even win his own seat at one point in time. So what are you going to make him the chief minister just because he's close to the Gandhis? Just because he's Madhura Scindia's son, or just because he's some king, so you make him the chief minister? Likewise, this gentleman, like I said, I give him a little more credit because he's worked a lot and he's quite popular, he's quite known. But the fact is, this MLAs are not with him. Na? So, karega kya? What are you going to do? So, one has to think logically. You see, blaming and youth and new face and that face and this face and all is fine. It's all good for debates. But if you look at it from a very logical perspective, there is nothing. What Congress did is what they could do. I don't think there's anything wrong they did, and that's it. That's what my view is.
Correct. There is a new update that Rajasthan Governor Kalraj Mishra has accepted the proposal, the submission that was made by Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot. 104 MLAs supported this, supported the Gehlot government, and now as per the majority arrangements and the majority calculation, his government is very much safe. So I think Deputy Sachin Pilot gone as Deputy Chief Minister, and two other ministers in Ashok Gehlot's cabinet who were very close to Sachin Pilot, they have also been sacked from the ministry. So these three leaders are gone from Ashok Gehlot's ministry, but Ashok Gehlot's government is very much stable now. So it almost looks like now Gehlot has won this battle between Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot. Now Ashok Gehlot's reputation has been such that he has even the internal party leadership, whoever challenges him, he has tackled all of the leaders very tactfully, you can say, because even CP Joshi at one point of time was a very strong contender to him, and he even made sure that CP Joshi is sidelined. Now even Sachin Pilot has been sidelined. There are talks that Ashok Gehlot wants his son Vaibhav Gehlot to succeed him.
That's the sad part of Congress. That is the sad part of the politics. The politics in India, in fact, it is. This is the sad part. But that being said, something tells me, Aarti, something tells me that there will be a patch up between Sachin Pilot and Congress. Something tells me. I have no information of that. Neither do I have it any information from source or anything. Nothing. But something tells me. My gut feel tells me that there will be a patch up. Congress will not lose Sachin Pilot so easily. They will at least try not to lose him.
Correct. So should Sachin Pilot be absorbed into national leadership, taking him out of Rajasthan and placing him in national leadership, national responsibility?
Aarti, Congress का क्या national leadership है? What is the national leadership in Congress doing? 40 MPs. What is the national leadership? What is their role today? Which national leader? There's a gentleman called K.C. Venugopal. Except for roaming behind Rahul Gandhi wherever he goes, what does he do? I mean, I don't know what he does. You know what he does? So the fact is, what is national leadership in Congress? National leadership is Rahul Gandhi. National leadership to a certain extent is Sonia Gandhi. That's it. That's national leadership. So I don't think that's a good lure. I'm sure they will think something for him. I'm sure they will give him something which he deserves. I'm sure they also, if we know he's a good leader, I'm sure Congress guys know that he's a good leader. I'm sure something will be worked out for him is what I believe, and they better do. If they don't do, sad for Congress. Absolutely sad for Congress.
Correct, definitely. A lot of people are saying that he should have waited some more, because after Ashok Gehlot, there was no other leader of that stature in Congress party apart from Sachin Pilot himself. So if he would have waited for one more term, then next time he would have got the chance that he was asking for, he was demanding for. Then do you think he was a little impatient with that? He should have waited.
See, that's a very subjective question, Aarti. That's a very subjective question. But I think he that was slightly immature of him to have reacted the way he reacted. I think so. But then he must have had his reasons. He must have had his support. He must have had assurances from a lot of people, lot of parties, lot of leaders, which made him do this. Otherwise, I don't think a person of his stature and the way he was. See, I don't know what the internal equation is in Congress, but externally he was seen as the most eligible leader of Congress.
Right.
He was absolutely an eligible leader of Congress. So I don't think he would have done that if otherwise. So yeah, I mean, I will leave it. I will leave it at that. Honestly, I'm a little biased with this man, this Sachin Pilot. I genuinely like this gentleman because he has the kind of effort that he has done is amazing. So I am going to be a little biased with him. So I will not call him. I don't know. I think I hope he knows what he's doing.
Fair. So that's all. This is where the things stand in Rajasthan right now. Ashok Gehlot's government is stable as of now. He has submitted a proposal to Rajasthan Governor Kalraj Mishra. He has said that his government has support of 104 MLAs and he has accepted it. The governor has accepted it. Sachin Pilot gone as Deputy Chief Minister, gone as Rajasthan Pradesh Congress Committee Chief. Two other ministers and Rajasthan Youth Congress and Rajasthan Seva Dal chiefs have also been removed from their post. They still remain in the Congress party, but they have been removed from their post. Now, Sachin Pilot's first reaction, we told you what it was, but there is no conclusive statement from his side as to what his next step will be. But that is what we have to see, what his next step will be, because it will also be interesting to see, because BJP has not made any move as of yet. BJP is yet to call for a floor test. They have also not demanded it because even today the BJP leader said that they are not going to demand any kind of floor test, and as of now the government in Rajasthan looks very stable. So this is where the things stand. For more news and updates, you can log on to www.hwnews.in.